What's up, everybody? Today we're going to talk about whether or not the Cowboys are going to be a contender for the 2020 season. This is serious. Camo time. Let's go. All right, guys. So this video is going to be fun. This is actually something that I've been wanting to talk about now. Finally have some time to catch up and talk about the roster building, because we're in roster building season. NFL draft and free agency is really where you're building your roster. You prefer it to be the draft, all right, but you supplement it with free agency. So this is covering an article that Daniel Jeremiah and Bucky Brooks wrote in April of last year. The blueprint of what makes a team a contender. They set out some prerequisites, some requirements to what gives your team the best shot at being a contender, and trying to make a playoff push. All right, so we'll go over that article, and we'll go over whether or not the Cowboys, have a roster that's in place right now, or what's needed. What else is needed to get us to that, to the finish line, because we're sitting on the couch, we're watching the Super Bowl this weekend, depending on when you watch this video. But, we're going to go over the blueprint. Do the Cowboys have it? What is needed? And that kind of thing. So let's take a look at this here real quick, all right? Take a look at this. Yeah, so this is just a screenshot here, and, talking about the ultimate composition for Super Bowl contender in today's environment. Which positions should executives focus on in roster construction? All right, the top teams have blues, like blue chip players, top 10 players on your roster, and other steady performers in these areas. All right, so first off, you need 10 blue chip players on your roster. All right, it helps. It helps. Now they're going to break it down here. What do you need? You need a 1 franchise quarterback, 3 offensive linemen, 3 offensive playmakers, 2 pass rushers, and 3 defensive playmakers. All right, and how they break it down is you can't have a player that fills 2 categories. All right, you have to have 10 of these guys in place. So in this article, they broke it down as this, they said that the Cowboys were Super Bowl ready at the time, all right? So remember, this article was written in April of 2019, right around the draft, and said, okay, so they have the Dallas Cowboys as Super Bowl ready at the time, all right? We know what happened in the 2019 season, but let's look at this. Do we have a franchise quarterback? Yes, Dak Prescott. He is a franchise quarterback, all right? Obviously you're going to have the haters and these kinds of guys that still want him out of here, that want somebody else. But, we're going to take a look at this as a non-homer exercise, all right? We're going to look at this through the lens of realism, of realistic, all right? So don't get offended if your player is on this or not on it or whatever the heck it is, all right? We got too many tenderfoots that don't like, when you criticize a player. All right? We're not having that here. I don't put up with it. It's all right. So Dak Prescott, he's your franchise quarterback. 3 offensive playmakers, all right? That's the prerequisite. They had Zeke on there, Amari Cooper, and Jason Witten. All right. Now let's discuss this. Looking at this, from 2019, Ezekiel Elliott, he's a playmaker. Yes. Amari Cooper, yes, he's a playmaker. Jason Witten, he's not an offensive playmaker. All right. Even when this article was written, I didn't see this as Jason Witten as a playmaker. I think he's just part of the team. I don't know that Jason Witten was ever truly a playmaker. You know what I mean? Even in his prime, maybe in his prime, right? Maybe he was, but over the last 3 to 4 years, Not so much. So I would scratch that off the list. All right. Offensive linemen. All right. You got to have 3 offensive linemen. Zach Martin, yes. Tyron Smith, yes. Or is he? All right. Travis Frederick, yes. All right. Now, why I say is he? I put a poll out there, and surprisingly, you know, we had over 1,000 and something votes. Right, almost 1,200 votes, and you know, it was very interesting. A lot of people had Zach Martin, Travis Frederick, and Lyle Collins as your 3. All right. Tyron Smith, I think he's still one of those guys. He's not elite, but would you say that Lyle Collins has passed him up as far as reliability and the ability to pass block and run block better than Tyron Smith? There's an argument on that. All right, you can't deny that. You cannot deny that. All right, but the Cowboys have that checked. You know, whether you say Tyron Smith is, you know, one of these guys or Lyle Collins, you know, you could have 4. All right. So for that, I say we have 4. You know, you have Zach Martin, Tyron Smith, Travis Frederick, Lyle Collins. All right. So that's a check. Pass rushers, DeMarcus Lawrence and Robert Quinn. All right. That's a check. That's a check. Defensive playmakers. This is an interesting one here. Jalen Smith, Leighton Vander Esch, and Byron Jones. All right. Were they playmakers? When you think of a playmaker, I think you think of somebody that's really going to, you know, force turnovers, get the ball, make plays on the ball, tackles, splash plays on defense. All right. So looking at this, Jalen Smith, I think he's right there on the cusp. You know, obviously you're looking at how this past season happened, and for me, Jalen Smith last season had a bit of a drop off. Still had the numbers, and you know, he made turnovers, he made sacks, he made turnovers, forced fumbles. I don't know. Some people forget that he was making these types of plays. So, is he a playmaker? You know, that's up for discussion. You know, if we're being completely honest, and I'm the ultimate Jalen Smith fan, so for me to kind of question it, you know, it is what it is. I think the potential is definitely there, but to have him, you know, in there as a defensive playmaker, you know, I think it's up for discussion. What do you guys think? All right, Leighton Vander Esch, same deal. He didn't really play that much this season at all. The previous season, yes, both these guys would have been defensive playmakers, both of them. All right, Jalen and LVE, they didn't have a good season either. I mean, Jalen Smith, he would tell you that he would have wished he would have had a better season. All right, but you know, it's some of the effects of a downturn season. All right, Byron Jones, is he a defensive playmaker? This one is very volatile. Does he get turnovers? No, he doesn't. Does he shut down the side of the field? For the most part, yes. Does he pull up on tackling running backs? Yes. All right. He does not stick his nose in there. So like I said, you run to Byron Jones' side, he might hit you, but he won't tackle you, and that 5-yard run turns into 12 yards. Your safety has to pick up the slack. We saw that, you know, more than a couple of times from Byron Jones, and that just is true. That happened in a lot of these games. All right, a touchdown, a walk-in touchdown, pulling up on the running back, let him walk in there. We saw that happen. All right, in that, we're talking about a cornerback, how much you want to pay him, and then you need to be a complete cornerback if you want elite money. I totally understand, you know, blanketing and shutting down, for the most part, the wide receivers, right? I get that. I think we can all agree that Byron Jones does that. But being a cornerback, there's more to it than that. You got to tackle, and you got to do run support. All right. Is he a defensive playmaker? You know, I think like Jalen Smith, Byron Jones, that's up for discussion. All right, he doesn't get the turnovers. So let's talk about the 2020 season now. Let's try to break this down. All right. Do we have a franchise quarterback? Yes, we do. All right. Yes, we do. It is Dak Prescott. All right. Let's write this down. All right. Franchise quarterback, Dak Prescott. We got that. That's a check. Offensive playmakers for 2020. Zeke. That's a check. Okay. Is Amari Cooper going to be back? I think he will be, whether it's a franchise tag or, a long-term deal. All right. He still has youth. All right. Still has youth. So I would say Amari Cooper is a check. Witten, obviously the news came out that he wants to play for the Cowboys now. He will be a free agent. Do they want to bring him back? Do they want to move on? All right. So that's a discussion. But do I put him in the offensive playmaker category? I do not. Who do I put in here instead? Michael Gallup, baby. Gallup is a playmaker. He's up and comer. I think he's a very good up and coming wide receiver for this league. All right. I think he's right there with Amari, 1A, 1B. So we got the checks there for offensive playmakers, okay? Offensive linemen, we have it. Zach Martin, Lyle Collins, Travis Frederick, and obviously Tyron Smith. So you have 4 there. But if it was 3, you still have the combination, whether it's Zach Martin, Tyron Smith, and Frederick, or Zach Martin, Lyle Collins, and Frederick. You still have the combination there where that's a check. All right. Pass rushers for the 2020 season. DeMarcus Lawrence, that's a check. All right. Is Robert Quinn coming back? We don't know. That's a question mark, everybody. So, is he back? If he's back, you got to say yes. If he's not back, we don't have another guy. We don't have another guy. So that is a question mark right there. Defensive playmakers. We need 3 of them. All right. Who's under contract? Kind of projecting here. But with this new staff, with the new linebacker coach, the defense, it's exciting. On paper it looks good. So we're going to look at this. We're trying to project your 3 defensive playmakers. Jalen Smith, I think, will be there. And but the other ones are question marks. Leighton Vander Esch. What about the neck? He had the surgery. Is he going to be ready? All right. How will he look? Will he be playing cautiously because he doesn't want to re-aggravate or hurt that neck? If you're playing with that possibility, that mindset that you can't tackle how you used to tackle because you don't want to hurt yourself again, you're not the same player. All right. So LVE, that's a question mark. That's a question mark. Byron Jones, that's a question mark. Does he come back? Do they bring him back? Do they let him walk? If so, that's another question mark. So, I think the question marks on here on defensive playmakers, I think you need 2 more. All right. I think you need 2 more. Pass rushers, I think you might need another one. So Cowboys, they need to add, if we're looking at this, they gotta add 3 people. They gotta add 3 people. All right. That's gonna come through free agency or the NFL draft. How quick and how fast do rookies contribute rookie seasons? We've broken it down before. When it's pass rushers, the average is usually between 3 to 5 sacks. So don't expect too much production from, let's say we were to draft a defensive end, unless he's a rock star, which is possible. You're getting at 17, you should be getting a blue chip player if it's a defensive end, or you know, a safety, cornerback, offensive line, whatever. At 17, you should have a blue chip player sitting there and can contribute immediately. All right. So, in my estimation, the Cowboys are 3 players off from having a contender-ready roster, right? Because the question marks are legit. They're real. Robert Quinn, does he come back? LVE in the neck, that's a real thing. Byron Jones, does he come back? And do you consider him a playmaker when he's not getting turnovers? All right. So, 3 players, guys. We got to add at least 3 blue chip players this offseason for the 2020 season. All right. Let me know what you think about this. About this breakdown. Are we 3 blue chip players away, or more, or less? Or do we have everybody? All right. Are you not worried about Leighton Vander Esch? All right. Tell me what you guys think in the comments. I think this is a very interesting discussion. But if we're being real right now, we are 3 players away from having a blue chip contender ready roster, according to what DJ and Bucky Brooks laid out. All right. So this is a fun exercise. I like it. Let me know what you guys think. If you want to put it in the comments what you guys think your 10 blue chip players are, you know, put it in there. Dak Prescott, give me the 3 offensive playmakers. Give me your 3 offensive linemen. Give me your 2 pass rushers. And then give me your 3 defensive playmakers. All right. And like I said, you can't have layover. You got to have, you know, your 2 pass rushers. Your 2 pass rushers cannot be your 3 playmakers on defense. You got to have, so defense, you got to have some really good players on there. All right. But that's it, guys. Continue to like, subscribe, and share. Shout outs to the producers of this video, Josh Prue, and our newest member, Donnell Jenkins. He's not really a new member, but he is contributing to the membership. Thanks a lot, Donnell. He's been with the channel for a long time. Thanks for contributing to this video and future videos. All right, everybody. If you want to join up, hit the join button, and we'll get you going. I have some more stickers on the way, shout outs as well. But that's it, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. We'll have some more good videos here coming out for the draft. Continue to like, subscribe, and share. I'll catch you for the next one, guys. Peace.